Embracing your fears is the fastest way to create change in your life and put your personal development and your self-growth into hyperdrive. But how can you embrace your fears? How can you strengthen your courage muscle? How can you do that? Stick around, you're in the right place. Watch this video to find out how. My name is Georgina and welcome to Positive Movement, the place that you can learn to think differently, feel differently, so ultimately you can live differently too. You're here because you know that the best, if not the fastest, or in fact the only way to strengthen your courage muscle is through embracing fear. It's only through embracing fear that you can free yourself from its paralyzing hold. But you're not quite sure how to do that. So I'm going to walk you through it step by step. And by the end of this video, you'll be prepared and you'll be more than capable to face any of your fears. To look fear dead in the eyes and say, let's go. I want to start by stating that few frightening scenarios will ever live up to the negative disasters that we play out in our minds. I want you to know that there is no difference between you and the person that you know that seems to take risks and huge leaps of faith on the regular. They feel fear. They feel fear too. They just have different beliefs and thoughts around it. And that's why, as always, learning to think differently allows you to live differently. Let's say their fear is healthy. It sharpens their senses. It energizes them. It ensures that they prepare, that they focus, and that they show up, as opposed to the unhealthy fear that you may be feeling that manifests in inaction, judgment, frustration, stress, perfectionism, shirking responsibility, stagnation, just to name a few. So you may have heard fear broken down into a couple of acronyms before. We've got false evidence appearing real, face everything and rise. Hopefully you are less familiar with forget everything and run. Today we're going to be focusing on one of my favorites from a psychologist called Tom Rutledge. And this is my interpretation of his acronym. His acronym is face it, explore it, accept it, and respond to it. So we've got a simple 4-step plan for you to face your fears. And I actually have a bonus tip at the end. So make sure you watch all the way through so you can catch that one as well. It's a really tangible tip, and it's helped me and so many of the people that I work with in many different areas of life, but particularly showing up in the face of fear. F, face it. Fear is important. It is a signal that we must make a choice. It is there to lead you in one direction or another. It means you are about to grow. It means you're about to transform, perhaps achieve, overcome, or adapt. It's a surefire sign that you are about to expand your reality, your life, your capabilities, your courage. And by facing fear, you can see it for what it is. It is just a signal. And there is no use in saying, oh, look at it when it goes away. Oh, look at it when it gets a little bit smaller. Because like any warning system, usually, or most warning systems, they get louder until you pay attention. They're like, hello, hello, hello. So until you look at it and see what it is truly there for, it will always seem like this huge, scary thing that is totally out of your control. And in making a choice to face it, you start to work with it. You start to collaborate instead of being controlled by it. Face your fear as a friend, or at the very least, useful information rather than a foe. And then we have the next step. We have E. Maybe it should be this way, E. Explore it. Explore it. Is this fear or is it self-doubt? Is it lack of trust? Am I taking reference, or am I drawing on reality or something I've imagined? Am I drawing on past evidence? Is this fear trying to address a gap in my knowledge? By exploring, I can give myself the opportunity to fail or get support with. So I need to prepare more. I need to learn how to do this. So get curious. What is this fear telling me? It is not fear that is the problem. It is your interpretation and/or your reaction to it. So ask questions. Perhaps you can see that an action plan needs to be made, or that you need to address some limiting beliefs, or have a conversation with someone. Do you need to address a boundary with them? Do you need to step up your communication skills with someone? There is a lot of useful information that can be found out by exploring your fear. Let me know in the comments, what is your biggest fear out of these two? A, for facing fear, or B, staying the same? What is scarier to you, facing your fear or staying the same? Let me know down below. Following this, we have A. Accept it. Fear is a part of life. It's normal. You are not unusual. There is nothing wrong with you if you are afraid. It's evolutionary. But as I've mentioned, in facing fear, you can see it for what it is. And in accepting it, you tell yourself that it's not something you should beat yourself up for. You don't need to berate yourself for having a fear or feeling fear. That, my friend, is counterproductive. And talking shit about yourself for being afraid will not make you feel less afraid. It will just give you another cross to bear. Everyone feels afraid in one way or another. Yes, some fears seem a little more rational than others. Some are more physical, others are more psychological, but whichever it is, know that what you resist persists, and what you accept transforms you. Now bear in mind that acceptance doesn't mean giving up. Oh well, I'll just live in fear forever because it's totally normal and there's nothing I can do, it's evolutionary. Know that acceptance is non-judgment. It's acknowledging what is. It's compassion and understanding. And all of these things make facing fear a little bit or even a lot easier. So we've done FEA. Lastly, R. Respond to it. Taking action. Making a choice. As humans, we have many instinctive reactions. As I'm sure you know, and you've heard before, fight, flight, or freeze are the most common ones. But I urge you to interrupt this when necessary, of course, and make a conscious choice. Can you choose to respond to your fear warning, your fear signals, intelligently, compassionately, and constructively? To strengthen your courage muscle, you must prepare by facing, exploring, accepting. And along this path, you may encounter challenging or negative thoughts and emotions. And these thoughts you can challenge by using a handy video that I created a few weeks ago, and I'll link it here and down below. But these steps, FEA, are the warm-up, the pre-workout for the muscle. The real exercise is in the response, in taking action. All the preparation without action is like psyching yourself up to jump off the high board, but never jumping. For some of us, the action part will be less effort than dealing with the thoughts and the warm-up because we are so pumped up and so clear and focused. But for others, it will be the reverse. It will be really easy to work through the thoughts and emotions, but taking action will take the most effort. But even if it starts with something as simple as taking 3 deep breaths, that's a choice. That's a positive, constructive, conscious response. And then you can just take the next step, make the next choice, the next piece of action. And just remember, no matter how small the action is, choose it. take it. A pebble of any size makes ripples in the water, but only if it's thrown. So, there we have it. Fear. Fear. F-E-A-R. So that's the end of the acronym. But remember, I have this bonus tip. Something that's been so helpful for me and all of the people that I work with. Creating evidence. Once you emerge on the other side of fear, which you will, you may wonder why the hell you ever doubted yourself in the first place. You may want to do it all over again. You'll have perhaps a feeling of pride, the feeling of life, of power, of strength, of accomplishment, and whatever results you experience as a result of taking the action. Now it's time to take a note of them, mentally or literally. Start building an evidence locker of all of the feelings, the accomplishments, the payoffs, and the personal evolution that you've gained in that moment. Write your new beliefs. What helped? What you learned? What maybe you would do differently? What maybe you'll remind yourself for next time? And then, when you're next facing a fear or you have a wobble, you can reference these. Committing these to memory or committing these to paper will allow each time to get a little easier as your faith, your courage muscle, and your pool of proof, your pool of evidence grows. I will leave you with this. Courage is not the absence of fear, but it's action in spite of it. Remember that everyone, me, you, everyone feels fear. It's just some of us let it control us, whereas now you know instead, you know how to control it. Or more like, the way that I like to say it is collaborate with it. So now that you have the tools, it would be a huge shame if you left them to gather dust. So I want you to tell me in the comments, what is the first fear that you will be embracing with your newfound courage workout regime or your newfound skills or tools to work with fear? If you want more support, subscribe, follow Positive Movement on Instagram, join the Positive Movement Facebook community, and I also offer one-to-one private mindset mentorship sessions. So you can book a connection call or text me to discover what that would look like, to discover more about it. Don't forget to hit that beautiful big red button and ring the bell so that you're notified when it's time for your next Positive Movement. As always, it's been a pleasure. I have so much love for you for showing up and learning how to collaborate with your fears, to embrace your fears and strengthen your courage muscle. It's been an honor to share this space with you.